Hello and welcome to this very next video of our Git course. In this lesson we will learn how we can create a Git repository and how we can add new files to these repositories and track the changes of these files. To create a new repository you just need two things. The first thing is indeed a directory to put your repository in, and then the command git init to get started with a fresh and new repository. That's why I want just to create a new directory. I will name this directory new repository to have a kind of a playground for us. And then I change into this repository, and now the time has come. We want to initialize our new repository, and therefore we need to run the command git init. The command git init will just create a new directory called .git. And this is a directory where Git stores all of the files and tracks the changes of your repository or of your files you want to have in your repository. And there are also many different or other cool features inside of this directory. No worries, we get into this .git directory a little bit later on, but in this video we want just focus on getting started. And that's why I just want to do the first commit in our new repository. To be able to do a commit inside of a repository, we of course need to change something. And the simplest change is to create a new file. And I am doing this right now by creating a new file using the touch command, and I just create a new file named a.txt. And a.txt lives now in the new repository directory, and you can now have a look on the changes inside of the repository using the command git status. Git status, I personally think git status will be the command you will run mostly if you're using Git, since you want to know what status your repository has right now. And as you can see, the console is telling us that there is a new file, a.txt, but it's not tracked right now. This means that you are not able to track the changes of this file inside of the working directory. We need to add this file to the repository. And there are two steps to add this file to the repository. The first thing is that we need to add this file to something called index, and from the index we can commit the new file to our repository. So the first command we need to learn, I just want to clear out the console for now. The first command is the git add command, and by passing the file name a.txt we simply can add this file to the index of Git. Running git status again will now tell us, you will see obviously the text file has now the color green, and now it's inside of the index. So the index, you can imagine the index to be a collection of files, a single file or a collection of files that are going to be committed. Though there is no problem to commit multiple files, and the index is just the stage before you have added your file to the repository and saved the state of your file to the repository. So as you have done this, you can just say git commit -- message. And the message parameter is a mandatory parameter in Git. You need to tell Git what you have done and maybe why you have done your change. This is a good practice so that other team members or colleagues can see later on what you have done and maybe what the intention of your change was. I now just say add a.txt file. Obviously it's not the best commit message, but now it's just for demonstration. And there it is. This is the first commit to your repository. So you now saved an empty file to your repository. There's also the possibility, as I mentioned it before, that you can have multiple files inside of your stage. And just to get a feeling how this works, I will now just create a second file, and I will also do a change to the a.txt file to get you into the process how the commit in Git works correctly. Also interesting to mention, if you're coming from TFS or SVN, commits are locally saved in your repository. So we have no connection to any server right now. We just work offline right now, and this is also a great benefit of Git. You are allowed to work on your repository and on your files, on your project, even if you have no connection to the internet right now. You can sync your changes later on to the server if you like. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to change my file a.txt right now. I use the Vim editor for this, and pressing Shift E allows me to insert some new things, and I just want to add a title to this, and I just say title of a.txt. Hitting escape and WQ, writing this file, and now we have changed the file. And as you may already notice, git status is a very good command to see what happens to your repository. And if we now run git status, you will see that we have now a modified file in our a.txt. It's not untracked anymore, and Git already noticed, okay, I know a.txt, but there seems to be that there are some changes in that file. And if we want to commit this modified file, we can just run git add again and say git add a.txt to adding this to the index once more. I run git status, and now I'm ready to commit this file. But now I just think about maybe it's cool to have another file into this commit as well. That's why I I create a new file by running touch again, and I say b.txt, running git status, and oh sorry, I forgot the git status. And as you can see, now we have a more verbose console log here in this place. So we have the modified file that is already ready to be committed since it is in the index. And then we have untracked files in our working directory as well. And if I want to commit the b.txt file next to the a.txt file, I can simply run b.txt, git add, of course, and now I can commit two files, and Git already knows, okay, a.txt is my body, I already know a.txt, but b.txt is a new file that I have to add to the repository. And now once again, I can just say git commit -m, and I say update a.txt, and it's also possible to run multi-line commit messages if you have some things you want to, some detail information that you want to provide. And in this case, in this demonstration, I use this to just tile, okay, created b.txt as well. So. And yeah, this is the next commit, and now you have also learned how you can modify files and how you commit these changes next to new files to the repository. This is it for this video, and hopefully I see you in the next video. By the way, if you still have any question about the video, or if you have any further question, please do not hesitate to ask me and leave me a comment below. Thank you.